My son Ethan Chen, who is a sophomore in high school, wanted to drop out of school and would not listen to any persuasion. I was so angry that I fainted. When I woke up, he snickered. Not dead? Looking at the figure of him sitting aside playing games. I knew I couldn't have this son. Because it was during this time in the coma that I saw myself being bleed someone dry for the rest of my life. I gave my all. And all I got in return was to be kicked out of his house and freeze to death on the streets in my old age and infirmity. Scarlett, how are you feeling? Here. Have some hot water. After drinking some water you go and lie on the bed for a while. Let's order takeout for dinner. You don't have to make it. Victor Chen, my husband, handed me a glass of water with a concerned look on his face. I didn't take it. Take me to the hospital. Hearing this, he froze for a moment, obviously not expecting to get such an answer. Just as well. As per usual. I should have waved my hand to indicate that I was fine and continued to go about my business at home. Melodramatic. Ethan Chen said with a skittish grin. His hands not stopping. I closed my eyes and ignored him. It would be a lie to say that I wasn't sad. Whenever he had a headache or a fever, I was always there to take care of him. However, I fainted. Can't even exchange a word of concern. Victor Chen patted my hand. He's still young. He'll be fine when he gets older. I used to comfort myself in this way. But forgiveness made Ethan Chen worse. He didn't have a soft spot in his heart when he put me to death. What's wrong with you? Is it hard? Victor Chen continued to babble. But just didn't move. Obviously not wanting to take me to the hospital. It's my head and my heart. It's very hard. Drinking hot water and sleeping won't cure it. I looked him in the eye with slight mockery and he immediately averted his gaze. This one did care about me. But it was all in that mouth. Never in actual action. And in the coma. I saw how he treated another woman. And that was truly thoughtful. Scare who? If you want to go, hurry up and go. What are you babbling about? You're annoying me. Ethan Chen shouted impatiently. What kind of attitude is that? She's your mom. Maybe he could see that I was not in the right mood. Victor Chen made a rare remark to his son. If I have a choice, I won't do it. If I have a choice, I won't let her be my mom. Okay. From now on, I won't be your mom. And I won't be involved in anything you do. Victor Chen hurriedly stopped me. Sijia, why are you so serious with the child? Let's go. I'll take you to the hospital. Don't go, said Ethan Chen, putting down his cell phone and sitting over. You don't care about anything I do. And it's okay to drop out of school. It's okay. You're in charge of your life. I won't tell you what to do anymore. That's great. He jumped up and down happily. Then quickly calmed down. No. We have to make a note. Soon a piece of paper was slapped in front of me. Sign it. It reads, Sophia Liu shall not interfere with any of Ethan Chen's decisions from today onwards. I smiled. Add one more sentence. Ethan Chen shall not interfere with any of Sophia Liu's decisions from today onwards. It's only fair that we don't interfere with each other. Isn't it? And it should be in duplicate. No problem. Ethan Chen quickly signed the addendum. I also signed and folded my copy and put it in my bag. Victor Chen was in tears. You are still with him. This is not legally binding at all. It doesn't matter. As long as the two of us recognize it as binding. Isn't that right? Ethan Chen? Right. He played the game and answered forcefully. Victor Chen had just dropped me off in front of the hospital when his phone rang. It's from the company. Go up first. I'll meet you later. 2 hours later. I came out after the checkup. And he was still on the phone. When he saw me, he hung up in a hurry and greeted me. Prescribed so many drugs? I put the bag in the back seat. The doctor said that I'm afraid I'm going to die if I don't have this much gas again. He laughed out loud. Is it that much of a stretch? You're not even trying to be superficial anymore? To this person. If I have the slightest bit of attachment to him, it's a crime. Sijia. I've thought about it. And I still can't let How drop out of school. On the way home, Victor Chen and I had a heart-to-heart talk. We have to coax him to go to college anyway. It's been more than a month since Ethan Chen dropped out of school. At first we thought he was being bullied at school. And we looked into it carefully. It turns out that he's not. He's just wild at heart. And he thinks he's the next Bill Gates after dropping out of school. Oh. Do you have any good ideas? I chimed in. How are the preparations for your hot pot restaurant with Hannah Sue going? Why don't you stay home and take care of How for the next 2 years? Here we go. But this time. He's dreaming. I fainted for a while. Although I didn't grow a brain, I at least gained some insight. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. I'll never do it again. 3 years ago, Ethan Chen was in poor health and had to go to the hospital. Victor Chen is an executive at a multinational corporation. His salary is a bit more than mine. So without any doubt, I quit my job to take care of my child. I finally raised my unfilial son alive and well. And I decided to start a business with my girlfriends. But then the asshole thing went off the deep end again and dropped out of school. I agreed to Victor Chen's offer to continue my babysitting career after what I saw when I was in a coma. I coaxed, persuaded and begged Ethan Chen to finish high school and go to college. I was just about to breathe a sigh of relief when Victor Chen's mom became bedridden. After he showed me countless cases of elder abuse by nannies, I continued to take care of my mother-in-law full-time. The elderly passed away 8 years later. I worked as a nanny for Shotgun Wedding's son again, taking care of the children after the pregnant woman. When my eldest granddaughter was in elementary school, my daughter-in-law had a second child. Bring the little granddaughter to 12 years old. My body collapsed. I thought I could take a break. But I was kicked out of the house. My babysitting career was over and my life had come to an end. You forget. We just signed a non-interference agreement. Do you think he'll listen to me? It's about the child's future. Don't be angry. I'll go back and talk to him again. If it's not possible, I'll ask Zhang to persuade him. The Xiao Zhang Victor Chen talked about is his assistant. He has been with him for more than a year and has been with him for half a year. Of course. It was only today that I found out about the together information. Ethan Chen, on the other hand, has known about it since the beginning. But he helped his own father hide it from me. It's okay. He listens to Chang the most. Jealous? Don't worry. You're his mom. No matter how good he is with Chang, he can't get over you. He'll still have to earn money for you to spend and support you in your old age. That's not true. I don't want to see such a big pie. I used to eat it. But now I just want to you. Unique. You're great. Teach me. My son's excited voice came through the door. Hee hee. Someone has come to the door. Once inside, the two were sitting shoulder to shoulder on the sofa playing games. Ethan Chen glanced at me and continued to play. Emily Zhang, on the contrary, immediately got up and went forward to ask. Sister Sijia, how are you? Are you all right? Thanks for your concern. The doctor said I need to recuperate for a while. Well, then take care of yourself. Don't get tired. And call me if you need any help. She helped me to sit down on the sofa. I'll make dinner. How said you're going to order takeout. But that's not good. Takeout is heavy on oil and salt, which is not good for your health. I'm sorry to trouble you. It's no trouble. I like to cook. How? Do you want to help me? Sure. The bristly prick who had blown up in my face immediately put down his cell phone and followed me into the kitchen. Why don't you go help too? I'm going to my room to rest for a while. I looked at Victor Chen, who was looking towards the kitchen. Okay. Well, call you when it's ready. Soon. Laughter came out from the kitchen. I was alone in the living room as if I was an outsider. But it didn't matter. I didn't want this family anyway. Sister Unique. Your cooking is so delicious. If only I could eat your cooking every day. Ethan Chen complimented as he wolfed down his food. I looked at the dining table that didn't have a single green vegetable and curled my lips. This was really to his liking. I can't cook for you every day. After all, I still have to work. It's still okay to come over and help you cook more often. That's fine too. Ethan Chen served another bowl of rice. However, I have one condition. Emily Zhang looked at him with a smile. Tell me. You have to be a good boy and go to school. And I promise to come over and cook for you at least once a week. Then you have to keep your word. Come on. Let's hook up. Emily Zhang held out her hand. Victor Chen smiled with crow's feet as he watched the two of them play childish games. It's going to have to be Xiao Zhang. I wiped my mouth. Zhang has a great temper. Your kids will be very happy. She smiled and gave Ethan Chen a hand. She smiled and gave Ethan Chen a piece of meat. I love children. And all the children in my relatives' family are especially close to me. I can see that. Your brother Chen and I also love children. A few years ago, we wanted to have a second child. And Hao agreed. But when I was 4 months pregnant, the boy went on hunger strike and jumped off a building, insisting that I abort him. We were afraid that something would happen to him. So we finally had an abortion. Victor Chen coughed twice and complained. Why are you talking about this? We're just chatting. Zhang is not an outsider. I gave him a blank look and continued. It was Hao himself who drove me to the hospital, holding my hand the whole way. When I asked him, he said he was afraid I'd run away and give birth somewhere else. I don't know who he's following. But he's a little kid. I laughed and shook my head. Ethan Chen raised his chin. Very proud of his behavior back then. Emily Zhang's face changed. Her smile a little forced. Kids these days are so smart. Who says they aren't? So yeah. I don't worry about him suffering outside. She persuaded students to study. But only to cater to Victor Chen. But an accomplished and ruthless stepson is not good for the stepmother and her future children. Perhaps. She used to think that children are easy to handle. But I believe that from today onwards, she should be on guard. I finished my meal and dragged out the packed suitcase from my room. Xiao Zhang. Take your time. Help sis persuade Hao again about school. Victor Chen asked. Where are you going? I'm going to Hannah's place for a few days. He pondered for a moment. Okay. I'm relieved to have her take care of me. He then came over to me and held my hand. I'm sorry. Honey. The company is busy these days. So I can't take time off to take care of you. It's okay. You're doing it for our family too. I made an understanding face. Out of the corner of my eye, Ethan Chen scowled and gave a yay to Emily Zhang. I walked out of the house alone and heard cheering as I waited for the elevator. Of course it was from my wonderful son. Kids just can't be bothered. When I got downstairs, Hannah Sue was waiting at the door in the night. My eyes burned a little. She had driven almost an hour to get here. She had driven nearly an hour to get here. And in the past few days she had been busy with the renovation of the hot pot restaurant. When we left the neighborhood, she asked, What happened? Did the father and son piss you off? Well, I'll tell you more about it when I get home. I'm going to take a break. Too much had happened in the past day. And I was really physically and mentally exhausted. So I was just holding it together at home. I slept the whole way. Go take a shower. Go to bed and we'll talk about it tomorrow. When I entered the house, Hannah Sue was in a state of disarray and wanted to take me to the bathroom. I hugged her and cried. For myself and for her. In that dream, Hannah Sue wasn't having a good time either. I didn't have time to get involved in the operation of the hot pot restaurant because I was being held back by Chen, and her cousin volunteered to come over and help. As a result, within 3 months, the man ran away with a payment of several $100,000, and at the same time stole the recipe for the hot pot base. He came back penniless, and lost all the money he took with him and the money he made from selling the recipe and gambling. Hannah Sue was brutally murdered when she tried to collect the debt from him. This time, I not only want to save myself, but also her. After crying, I felt much more relaxed. Hannah Sue. From now on, let's work on our business and try to open a chain of hot pot restaurants. She had also been brought to tears by me earlier, and now wiped them away as she tried to smile back. Good. Let's be strong women. Hannah Sue was divorced 5 years ago and has been single ever since, focusing on making money. Victor Chen cheated on his assistant, and Ethan Chen knew about it and helped to hide it from me. She said. I'm now waiting for Chen to file for divorce. I thought I would have 1,000 words to say, but that's all I had to say. I didn't even want to complain about that father and son. So, what about Ethan Chen? It took a while for Hannah Sue to recover from her shock. I was on cloud 9. Don't want it. She was silent for a long time, and then asked. He did something more outrageous. Didn't he? Otherwise, how could you give up on him? You love him so much. A sourness welled up in my heart and I blinked away the tears in my eyes. It's all in the past. When I woke up in the morning, Hannah Sue had already made breakfast. I made shrimp congee. Let's go to the store and then go shopping. Okay. I nodded, my heart warming. I like shrimp. But the father and son didn't like it and didn't allow me to eat it at home. At that time, I thought it didn't matter. If I didn't eat it, I didn't eat it. Now that I think about it, they were really selfish and I was blinded by pork. After dinner, to the store. The decoration workers have already begun to work. When they saw us, the foreman welcomed us with a smile and led us to introduce the progress of the renovation. Hannah Sue told me on the way here that the foreman had a good attitude, but his work was a bit perfunctory, and he would muddle through if he couldn't take care of one thing. I watched them communicate about the renovation, and the more I saw, the more familiar I thought the foreman looked. When they finished their business, I asked, "Are you a graduate of the University of H?" Yes. Yes. I did. You too. The foreman had the surprise of seeing an alumnus. I shook my head. My cousin went to the same school as you. I've seen you a few times from afar when I went to see him at school. Besides, I read your article in the school newspaper. You remember that? He was very excited. And then complimented. Your memory is so good that someone like me, who can't be found in a pile of people, can actually remember it. Then he touched his head and laughed as he lamented. I liked to write at that time. It's been 20 years since I graduated. I stopped writing a long time ago. Thank you for reminding me that I was once a literary youth. Let's have lunch together. My treat. We both fought for the treat. In the end, Hannah Sue decided that it was her treat. According to the foreman's taste, we chose a Sichuan restaurant. We had a good meal. During the meal, the foreman patted his chest and assured us, "Don't worry. I'll finish this job beautifully for you too. I'm counting on you." After dinner, we didn't go back to the store. We directly said goodbye to the foreman and went to the mall. In the car, Hannah Sue gave me a thumbs up. "Thanks to your unforgettable skills," she said. "Now he won't be confused. And I won't have to deal with the headache every day." To be honest, the other day I was terrified when I arrived at the front door of the store. not knowing what new problems were waiting for me. Sija, you're great. You solved a big problem right out of the gate. I was also happy that these years of being a housewife had sapped my confidence. Now I have to reinvent myself little by little. Sija. This time. We should choose clothes that look good and are comfortable. Okay? When I entered the mall, Hannah Sue urged me. We can't be like the old days when we just wanted to be comfortable and convenient. We are still young. We need to look good. Okay. I'll listen to you. I agreed with a smile. Some passers-by heard our conversation and looked over. Then turned their heads and whispered. We didn't think much of the taunts that reached our ears. According to the new age classification standard, 40 is a proper young age. Sija. This one looks good too. You look good in anything with that body. I'm so envious of you. Hannah Sue complimented me when I was trying on dresses. Other than that, I do have a pretty good figure. Although I don't work out. My weight has fluctuated around 100 pounds since I became an adult. After I gave birth to Chen, I recovered quickly. I bought a couple dresses. Went shopping for makeup. Bought a bag. And finally had a big dinner. When we got home, we both collapsed on the couch. Tired. And happy. It was almost like a new life. For the rest of the day, Hannah Sue and I made the final preparations for the opening of the hot pot restaurant. The renovation is going well. The foreman did what he said he would do. The work was beautiful and the result even exceeded our expectation. In the midst of the hustle and bustle, I took the time to rent an apartment in Hannah's neighborhood and settled down. I think the family there is doing well. Victor Chen has no intention to take me back except to send me a message occasionally to ask about my health. Chen. Not to mention. Couldn't wait for me not to come home. 2 months passed. And the hot pot restaurant opened successfully. Hannah Sue and I were a bit cautious in our first investment. The location of the restaurant was a bit remote. And there weren't many customers at the beginning. However, the feedback from customers who came to the restaurant was very good. When Chen and his friends came in, I was wearing a waiter's uniform and setting dishes on the table. He paused in his tracks for a moment. Then looked me up and down in disgust and turned his head away. The others were ordering and he called out to me. Where's the restroom? Take me there. This way. Please. I was respectful. When no one was around, he laughed at me. Are you going out of business? The owner has to work part-time as a waitress. At least it saves me a paycheck. The truth is, I lost a bet with Hannah Sue to experience life. He gritted his teeth. In front of outsiders. Don't say you're my mom. No problem. If you need to, you can publish a statement in the newspaper announcing that you've disowned me as mother and son. Don't think I won't dare to issue a statement. Not only do I not want you, my father doesn't want you either. Then let him ask me for a divorce. Just wait. It's coming soon. By the way, I dropped out of school. And my only sister helped me with the paperwork. He looked at me provocatively. Maybe he saw that I was too calm before and wanted to use this to provoke me. Unfortunately, that was exactly what I wanted. Congratulations. You got what you wanted. Seeing that I really wasn't angry. He stared at me for a while and finally huffed and brushed his sleeve away. As long as I don't get angry. It's everyone else who gets angry. The customers in the store left one by one. Only Chen and the others were still chatting enthusiastically. I heard 2 waiters whispering. That table doesn't look very old. Why are they talking about millions and millions of dollars of business? What kind of families are they? Hey! Who cares? There's no tax on bragging anyway. It's not $100 million. It's already very restrained. As the saying goes, those who are in the know are in the dark and those who are on the sidelines know better. At this moment, Chen is looking at the man at his table with adoring eyes. Who is talking so much? Anyone with a little experience could tell that he reeked of a con man. As soon as that group of people left, Hannah Sue came in from outside. I think I saw Ethan Chen. It's him. I'll wear this dress for 2 more days. Someone else should be coming to see my jokes soon. I winked. She understood. As I expected. The next day at dinner time, the person came. When he saw me, Victor Chen's face was as black as the bottom of a pot and he didn't say a word. He was accompanied by his colleagues. I've seen them all before. And they greeted me awkwardly. Sister-in-law. Sister-in-law. Only Emily Zhang looked as usual. She took me by the shoulders and glared at them. What kind of attitude is that? My sister may be dressed as a waitress. But she's the boss. The pity in those people's gazes became a little heavier. They should also think that this store won't last long. Victor Chen snorted in disgust. Emily Zhang's smile became sweeter. Sister. You can order for us. Okay. After ordering the food and turning around, I tried to suppress the upturned corners of my mouth. Ms. Zhang was wearing flats. You know. She used to have high heels as if they were welded to her feet. Looks like those condoms in the bedroom that I punctured worked. She wouldn't let go of the chance to force her hand with this unexpected child. But this little life was not destined to be born. Because Emily Zhang hasn't gotten a clean bill of health because of something. I just don't know if she will use the opportunity of the miscarriage to trap Ethan Chen as a way to centrifuge their father and son. Sijia. I'll see you this afternoon. A week later, Victor Chen sent me a message. I knew that my marriage had finally come to an end. On that day, I changed out of my pretty dress and took off my makeup, and returned to my original outfit, which was gray. Let's get a divorce. Well, split the property equally. And how will stay with me. In the cafe, Victor Chen got right to the point. I was in tears. Why? We're fine. Why do we have to get a divorce? Are you hiding a terminal illness from me? No. He squeezed 2 words out from between his teeth, then rubbed his eyebrows. It's just that I don't think we're fit to be together anymore. You're with Chang. I got a picture yesterday. I thought it was a picture. I pulled out the picture as I shed a tear. It was a picture of them kissing. Victor Chen grabbed the photo. Who gave it to you? I don't know. It was in the grocery basket when I went out to buy groceries. Is it true? He didn't say anything. I let out a bitter smile. Okay. I agree to divorce. He stared at me in surprise as if he had been in a state of shock. His eyes widened in surprise. As if he couldn't believe it had gone so well. There's no point in me dwelling on it anyway. The distribution of your property is fair. As for Ethan Chen, he doesn't treat me like a mom anymore. So there's no point in forcing it. Then let's sign the agreement and do the formalities as soon as possible. Good. But Victor Chen, don't transfer your assets like others. I don't mind going crazy again. I have nothing to lose anyway. When I first got married, a neighbor tried to harass me. I chopped off his hand with a kitchen knife. The man was so scared that he ran away and later moved out of the house at a rapid pace. Looking at Victor Chen's expression, I knew he remembered that incident too. After so many years of trying to be a good wife and mother in front of their father and son, did I really think I couldn't hold a knife? I don't want to dwell on it. But they can't be too bullying. Our divorce went smoothly. Victor Chen didn't transfer his assets. After so many years as a couple, I know in my heart how much he weighs. And I also got someone to investigate. Walking out of the Civil Affairs Bureau with the divorce certificate, Ethan Chen immediately ran over to me. Dad, my mom has already booked a restaurant. Let's go have a big meal to celebrate. The mom in his mouth, of course, did not mean me, but Emily Zhang. At this moment, she was standing beside the car, smiling slightly. with a victorious stance. That's a pretty quick change of words. Hannah Sue whispered. Come on. Let's go celebrate. Having accomplished this big event, a stone in my heart fell to the ground. I don't care what Chen says or does anymore. Besides, he won't be able to laugh for long. Soon Chen came to me in tears. That day, Hannah Sue and I drank tea and chatted in the office. The business was getting better and better. And we were already talking about a branch. My cousin heard that our store is doing well and went to my mom to ask for a job. But I turned him down. Oh. The cousin showed up. But the plot was different. Why? I asked, rubbing my teacup. If I open this door, all my relatives who can't find a job will come to me. She was right to be concerned. In that dream, since my cousin came to the store, some more relatives had come to me. What does your cousin look like? Do you have a picture? Let's see if he's handsome. Although Hannah's fate was changed when her cousin didn't come, I still wanted to remind her. She flipped a photo from the family group to show me. Not handsome. Silent. Neither of us have talked much. I looked at the photo. Early 30s. Vaguely menacing. Do you believe in my sixth sense? I asked Hannah Sue. Yes. She answered without hesitation. During this period of time, I pretended that my sixth sense had helped her avoid several traps. I think your cousin gambles. And he gambles quite a bit. I did hear that he gambles. But when I asked my aunt, she said no. Speaking of which, they borrowed 50,000 from my mom a while back. It'll go. She slapped her thigh. That money wasn't used to pay off gambling debts. Was it? You'd better let Auntie ask around. Gambling is a bottomless pit. If someone pays for it, it'll only get bigger. Okay. I'll call my mom. While we were talking, there was a knock on the door. Come in. I raised my voice. The foreman brought a man in. Mr. Lou. This kid says he's looking for you. It was Chen. Okay. Thank you. Go and get busy. The foreman went out and brought the door with him. Chen rubbed his eyes and looked at me with some disbelief. Mom? Why are you different from before? I wore a white dress today. With exquisite makeup. A look he had never seen before. I didn't say a word. He looked beaten. His forehead was red and swollen. There were slap marks on his face. The corners of his mouth were broken. And his exposed arms were bruised from scratches. If this were before, I could have burst into tears and fought for the person who hit him. But now I just wanted to say well done. Is something wrong? I asked calmly. Mom. He walks up to me. A little rattled. Hannah Sue gestures at me and goes out. What's the matter with you coming over? I asked again. This time, tears fell from his eyes. Mom. Emily Zhang fell down the steps and had a miscarriage. She said I pushed her. My dad believed her and hit me. Look. He showed me his wound. I really didn't push her. That woman set me up. He cried. He cried and complained. It was a bit noisy. Okay. Stop crying. I believe you. Really? He looked at me with tears streaming down his face. Really? I nodded. Go wash your face and I'll take you to the clinic to get your wound treated. Mom. Your store is doing really well. Chen looks around as he walks downstairs through the hot pot restaurant. It was the middle of the day. And every table in the restaurant was full. With many more lined up. From the clinic, I drove him to a private kitchen. He used to clamor for it. But we never came because it was far from home and too expensive. Now it's made up for it. Order whatever you want. I handed him the menu. He smiles with a big frown. Thanks, Mom. He feasts over there while I write little cards across the room. Mom. What are you writing? I show him the card. It reads, "Wishing Ethan-Chen a happy life." His eyes reddened. "Mom, you're so good to me. I'm going to write to you too." "Not necessary. I wrote this to draw you to what I want you to see." I stopped him. "Right after you eat. Then we'll go put it on the wall together. This store has a wall dedicated to blessings and confessions." After eating, we went to post the cards together. After posting the cards, I stood there to read what others had written. And Ethan-Chen joined me. As I was looking at it, he said, "Ha." He said, "What's wrong?" I asked. He pointed to a card and didn't say anything, but took out his cell phone and took a picture. Although I knew what was on it without looking at it, I followed the direction of his finger for the sake of drama. It was a pink card with different handwriting that said, "Honey, I love you. Honey, I love you. Emily Zhang. Kevin Yu third wedding anniversary." The date was half a year ago. The name matched. And so did the handwriting. And at that time, the heroine on the card was also having a good time with Victor Chen. "Mom, I'm leaving first." Ethan-Chen waved his hand at me as he ran out the door. "Go ahead. This fast-forward button is yours to push." Yes. Emily Zhang is married, but has always presented herself as single in the company. Kevin Yu is her lover. He went abroad for work 2 years ago and came back once every 6 months. He's coming back again in a few days. He's a young and energetic guy. Knowing the truth, he's bound to create a storm. Sijia. You're right. My cousin is really a gambler. He's already lost his family's house in the city. He's usually so honest. My dad got my aunt drunk and asked him about it. Otherwise, he would have kept it from us. I told my mom that besides not borrowing money, she should also be vigilant. Who knows what kind of madness the dog will go through. In the morning, Hannah Sue and I ran around for half a day to choose a location for the branch. At this moment, looking for a store for lunch. It's about paying more attention. They'll do anything when they lose. My cell phone rang. The caller ID showed Victor Chen's name. I wanted to ignore it, but the caller was persistent. I pressed the answer button and before I could say anything, Ethan Chen's crying voice came from the other end of the line. "Mom, you quickly come over. My father is in the hospital. He's in the People's Hospital. Come here quickly." After saying that, she hung up. Hannah Sue stopped her knife and fork. "Do you want to go? If you do, I'll accompany you. If you don't want to go, we won't go." Ethan Chen's voice was loud. She heard him. Ethan Chen's voice was loud and she heard him. "Let's go and see what's going on. There's no rush. We'll talk after dinner." When we arrived, some of Victor Chen's colleagues and Ethan Chen were waiting outside. "Sister-in-law?" Someone saw me and called out tentatively, with some uncertainty in his tone. "Just call me sister," I reminded. Sis." She quickly changed her tone. "Sister-in-law. You're so beautiful now. I don't even dare to recognize you." Mr. Chen is still in the operating room. "Mom." Ethan Chen rushed over and hugged me. Whimpering, I helped him sit down on the bench, wiped his tears, and pulled his hand away from me. "Your grandparents and second uncle didn't come? Why is he the only family member here?" "I just called them. They should be on their way." Ethan Chen huffed. "What happened?" Hannah Sue asked. Emily Zhang's husband rushed to the office looking for my dad. And then, when the man arrived, Mr. Chen and Assistant Zhang were in the office, being caught in the act. He acted calmly, said he wanted 3 people to talk properly, and locked the door from the inside. We heard the screams kick the door in. Mr. Chen has been beaten to death. Assistant Zhang went crazy trying to push her lover out of the window. and was dragged down with her. And they both died on the spot. He said. When we sent Mr. Chen to the hospital, we met Hao in front of the company and brought him here with us. Victor Chen's secretary took over and told the story. The situation was even more tragic than the scene I saw in my coma. But they weren't caught in flagrante delicto at that time. I really don't know what to say. Does it have to be in the office? Knowing and seeing are two different things. A man of clay would go crazy if he saw it. Emily Zhang is obviously favoring her lover. Isn't this adding fuel to the fire? I looked at Ethan Chen. His eyes were averted and his expression was a bit unnatural. This kid appeared so timely. He should have followed Kevin Yu to see the situation. An hour later, Victor Chen's brother arrived with his parents. The two old men sat on the ground and cried. In the chaos, Hannah Sue and I quietly left. It's good that you divorced quickly enough. Otherwise you would have been humiliated. And it's hard to say if you can divorce. Yes. Divorce is not possible. In the previous episode, Victor Chen was also beaten and hurt his waist. Although not paralyzed. But almost. Although he is not paralyzed. He is almost paralyzed. He can't carry a load on his shoulders and can't lift his hands. When he sits for a few minutes, his back hurts. And when he walks a few steps, his back hurts too. Only lying in bed is better. I lost my job. Emily Zhang disappeared without a trace. And even her family came to Victor Chen for help. With nothing to lose. He took me as a lifesaver and refused to get a divorce. Which was a lifelong delay. Fortunately, now I've broken free from that quagmire. Mom, your place is so luxurious and grand. Ethan Chen ran to my new office and couldn't help but marvel as soon as he came in. He had gained a lot of weight. And had long lost his student spirit. Adding an appetizing greasiness to his appearance. After a few words, the man got down to business. Mom, you and my father remarry. He will definitely not screw around in the future. How is your dad's health? He's recovering quite well and can take care of himself now. Mom, come back. We used to be a happy family. My dad knows he's wrong. I'll let him tell you in person. He took out his cell phone, dialed a video call, and held it up in front of me. The man on the screen had already lost his looks, and had long since lost his previous elegant demeanor. Shurjia. He smiled curtly, his voice breathless. After so many things, I realized that the person I love the most is still you. Can you give me another chance? Let's live the rest of our lives together. When I'm better, I'll help you manage the hot pot restaurant. As he finished his sentence, he started to breathe heavily. I reached out and hung up the video call, looking coldly at this son who was trying to drag me into the fire. I know Victor Chen's condition. His lower body has been ruined. One of his kidneys has been lost. And his back has been seriously injured. So he will have to live with a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Looking at his condition today, I'm afraid he doesn't have much time left. Ethan Chen was a little weak and started to change the topic. Mom, I had a dream yesterday. I dreamed that you didn't open the hot pot restaurant. But you were so dedicated to my studies that you insisted that I finish high school and go to college. While I was at school, you took care of grandma at home. When I got married, you took care of our children. You brought up our two granddaughters with your own hands. In my dream, you loved me so much. You bought me a house with all your savings and begged for a good job. He told the dream with a smile on his lips. What happened then? I asked. What? What happened to me after I brought up my granddaughter? He hung his head for a while before he said. Of course. I'm enjoying my old age. I sank to my knees. Ethan Chen. Don't ever come back to me again. He stiffened. Then smiled. Mom. Did you read some quiz on the internet? No. I said with a straight face. I'm not going back. I'm not interested in your Chen family or your business. Remember this? I took out the simple agreement. His lips trembled. Mom. I didn't know any better. So you're trying to cheat? That's not good enough. You have to keep your word or you won't make it. By the way, when you first came to the hot pot restaurant, I heard you talking to someone about running a multi-million-dollar project together. What happened? It didn't work out? Is it because you didn't keep your word? Ethan Chen. If you keep this up, you're doomed to a lifetime of failure. I knew how to stab him in the heart. Sure enough. He slammed the table and turned red. Don't think you're a big shot just because you own a couple of hot pot restaurants. You'll be begging for my help in the future. In the future. It'll be 100 times better than you. He said. Don't look for me when you have no one to take care of you. Looking at his angry back. I texted Hannah Sue to make a dinner date in a relaxed mood. It was a year later when I heard from Ethan Chin again. He stole money from his family to do business with someone else and was cheated out of his money. He was cheated out of all his money. Up to $1 million. His grandmother was so angry that she was hospitalized in the ICU. And it took several days for her to be revived. His grandfather broke his legs in anger. Why not the father? Because Victor Chin can't fight anymore. His health condition. It's barely enough for him to survive. Do you think Ethan Chin will remember? Hannah Sue asked me. Most likely not. He is too ambitious and incapable. He will go astray in the future. On my 42nd birthday, I moved into a new flat in the city center. I was neighbors with Hannah Sue on the upper and lower floors. This was the first house that was completely my own. When I walked out of the Chen's house with a suitcase, I never imagined that I would have everything I wanted so soon. Thanks to that dream. And thanks to myself for making the decision to leave. Otherwise, I would have lived in the mud for decades and died a miserable death. That would have been a wasted trip to Earth. The Hot Pot restaurant has opened 10 branches. And all of them are doing great business. The daily operation is on track. And there is no plan for further expansion. So Hannah Sue and I can finally take a break. The first thing we did was to go traveling. As we traveled, we marveled at the ingenuity of nature and the wisdom of mankind. And regretted that we had the time and ability to see the world only in our 40s. But more than anything, we were satisfied. Because of our own changes. We finally have the opportunity to witness so much beauty. End of story. Next story. When my mom won the second prize of more than $750,000 in the lottery, she turned around and saved $200,000 each for herself, my brother, and my sister on a fixed-term basis. When I saw that I had no money for college tuition, I asked her for a loan. No money. Ask your dad for it. I had to crack the piggy bank and fight for my 18th birthday. I'm hoping that he'll turn my bike into a motorcycle and win $360 million. Last month, my mom bought a lottery ticket on my sister's birthday. My mom always says that my sister is good for her. Well, she really does. That night, she sat down in front of the computer early to wait for the lottery. She bought the drag gallbladder and additional bets. A total of 10 bets. $30. The jackpot was 5 plus 2. My mom won 5 plus 1. 5 second prizes. 5 fifth prizes. And $752,000. Figuring out the tax deduction. She'd get over $600,000. The next day, she went straight to the provincial hall to collect the prize and immediately gave herself and my brother and sister a regular deposit of $200,000. I have nothing. I even have no money for college tuition. I have the courage to go to her privately to borrow a semester's tuition. Unexpectedly, she said, "No money. Ask your father for it." I called my dad with trepidation. My dad said on the phone that as long as I passed the exam, I didn't have to worry about the tuition. A big stone fell to the ground in my heart and I spat out a mouthful of sulkiness. To my mom, I can also sweep away the aggression with a bit of complacent drift. In addition to soaking in the bookstore every day, I took my bank card to the ATM to check. But 10 days had passed, and the balance hadn't gone up. I'm anxious. But there's nothing I can do about it except be anxious. I don't know why, but my left and right eyes have been jumping all day today. Suddenly I was a bit skeptical of my dad's words again. It's not like I'm pulling the cat's tail again, is it? It's my birthday and my mom didn't buy me a cake. There were no eggs in the fridge. I absent-mindedly washed the rice and boiled it, and cut up the capers and washed and dried them. It was 5:30 and I couldn't wait any longer. Just leaned against the TV stand, looking at the landline. Calling or not calling. Torn. But soon. Flipping the book of my dad's cell phone numbers out of the bottom of the landline. I also found a white envelope. But with this mind's attention elsewhere, I didn't flip it over to look at the front. Dialing my dad's number. Which was a long wait. So long that I thought no one was answering. One hand held the handle in a death grip. The other twisted unconsciously at the phone line. Suddenly there was a voice from the other side. What's up this time? You don't know how expensive your phone bill is if you don't earn it. How many calls have you made this month? Dad. I couldn't care less about what the other side said, and spoke hurriedly when I got through. There was a pause. It's Chien. Is there something wrong at home? My dad's tone was a little slow when he heard it was me. Dad. It's my birthday today. So I was wondering when the tuition is going to call. I couldn't wait to talk. It's not my personality to beat around the bush. When you call, you don't say a word of greeting. You don't ask if you've eaten dinner. You've been studying for so many years. How did you learn to do that? My dad didn't answer my question, but directly criticized me for being impolite. The school is coming to open. I am also impatient. Adults are procrastination. Should have the right thing old not timely do. Your mom said. You didn't get into college. Everyone else has received their acceptance letters. But not you. No way. I've done the math. Even if I don't get into a provincial university, I'll still get enough points to get into a local university. Even if I don't get into a provincial university, I'll still get enough points to get into a local university. When I heard my dad say that I didn't get in, I directly overturned it. This phone call was not too long. Not too short. Just 5 minutes. Hanging up the phone, I frowned and muttered there's no way I didn't get in. I estimated it. Tidy up the landline. That's when I saw the white envelope again. I turned it over and realized it was a letter of acceptance. Vocational Nursing School. Maternity Nursing. Addressed to Tina Tang. Is it mine? An acceptance letter from a local vocational nursing school? Vocational nursing school? But I didn't apply for local vocational nursing school. The sound of the front door locking came from downstairs, along with the voices of my mom and sister. I couldn't think too long. I shoved the envelope into the back of my pants, and then thought of the thinness of the school uniform, pulled it out again and folded it into my pants pocket. But it was held open until I hid something inside. Pulled out again. To the left waist pants. Stuffed only a small section. The rest of all the rubber bands in the pants pressed inside. I just so tossed. The sound of chatter has been in the doorway of the second floor hall. I squatted violently, opened the glass door of the TV cabinet, quickly took out the medicine box, and turned out the Tiger Balm wind repellent oil. I twisted it open and poured out a little bit, and then rubbed it on my ankle. By this time, my mom and my sister had already come into the hall. Mom, the homeroom teacher said that I will be a senior in September. So I have to sign up for the intensive training course in advance. So you have to give me the money to sign up. You have to give me money to enroll. 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 You have to study hard to be able to get to college. Mom, go to great financial lengths for you to read. My sister saw me squatting in front of the TV to wipe the medicine. Immediately closed the voice. Also did not shout at me. Instead, she walked into the utility room, put down her bag, and turned around to go to the bathroom. My mom looked at me and asked, "Did you cook the rice? Did you wash the vegetables?" I glanced at her and replied, "Yes. I've cooked and washed them. Just need to fry the vegetables." "Did you shower the flowers on the roof?" My mom said again. The sun was still shining. So I thought I'd cook dinner before I went. I answered mechanically while thinking about the letter. "It'll go up and get wet now." Finished. Put away the pillbox. Knock. 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 I ran to the roof of the fourth floor. After quickly drenching the flowers, I ran back to my room and closed the door. To prevent anyone from peeking through the glass window of the door, I opened the door of the closet and hid myself inside before pulling out the letter. Only then did I realize that the letter had been opened. It was a real letter of acceptance. Why was it from a vocational nursing school? I had a lot of questions. While my mom was still in the kitchen, my sister was not in the hall. I put the letter back in the bottom of the landline and pressed it. Waiting until 6:40. After eating and washing the dishes, I decided to go back to school and ask my homeroom teacher. On the way out the door, my mom asked me where I was going. Not staying home all day. I went back to her about a classmate to go to the bookstore to blow the air conditioning and read books. The school is not far from my house and it took me only 2 minutes to run there. It took me another 2 minutes to run to the teacher's dormitory. Tina Tang. About your volunteer. Your mom came to the school and insisted on changing it to vocational nursing school. She said, "Your mom said that your brother is studying medicine and your cousins are all working in the pharmacy." So, I looked at the homeroom teacher with my eyes open in disbelief. And a cold chill ran down my back. The volunteers have been changed. My volunteers have been changed. With a slightly green face and white lips, I ran away as if I had fled. That was my only chance to escape. I waited for 9 years. I had only heard that if I failed the exam, I could work in a factory as a factory worker or study in a high school. I've never heard that a completed application can be changed. My brother is not very good at Chinese and Western medicine. My cousin's uncle is helping the owner of a pharmacy to choose a site to open a pharmacy. And my cousin has just studied Chinese and Western medicine in Wuzhou. But he only works as an errand boy in the pharmacy. I'm not interested in studying medicine. I just want to leave this home that suffocates me. I don't want to live this life where saying or not saying is wrong and doing or not doing is wrong. The adults in this house are too biased and only like my brother and sister. And I am just a free babysitter in this house. My brother and sister can have pocket money without having to do chores. My brother doesn't have to ask and my mom hands out extra allowance. My sister gets extra allowance for doing random chores. I didn't have anything. The teacher said I had to pay $5 for the class. And my mom was afraid I'd cheat her. She had to call the homeroom teacher to check before she cursed. I don't know how expensive it is if I'm not in charge of the family. And she dragged her feet and had to make me cry before she threw out the $5. For a moment, I felt that today was the day I turned 18. And I didn't want to still feel bitter on this day. I thumped home. At the bottom of the closet. Pulled out the mop bucket. And rummaged around in the innermost part to find a half-sized golden piggy bank. Randomly take a thicker piece of clothing wrapped in a ball. Hard force to the wall a few times. Reopen. The golden piggy bank cracked open a number of breaks. Burst open a pile of small denomination coins. This is from the age of 9 years old to save holiday cash gifts. fished out another half-sized homemade zippered wallet. I stuffed the money into it, pinned it to the front of my pants, and put it away. Running out of the house, I heard my mom talking to the neighbor's aunt on the roof, laughing. Running to the bookstore on the way, I counted. The early years of the Chinese New Year family came to more people, received more red envelopes. These 2 or 3 years, less people, received less. The Golden Pig also saved only $1,000. An 8-inch cream cake costs $88. I'm going to eat a whole one by myself. And by the way, I'm going to eat the past birthday as well. When I thought of this, I remembered the lottery ticket my mom bought for my sister last month. And I suddenly wanted to buy it too. My body was honest. And my feet were already running away when my head was thinking this way. Minors, you can't buy lottery tickets. The boss wife saw that I was wearing a school uniform and spoke. I've already turned 18. I'm done with the college entrance exams. So my school uniform is useless. I took out my bulging wallet and flipped out my ID card and shook it in front of the boss wife, not caring whether she saw it or not, and stuffed it back into my wallet. A generation of ID cards. Black and black photos. Photos and real difference of 20 years. Tonight's tickets are already closed. You can only buy the next installment. The boss wife stood back in front of the ticket dispenser, signaling me to write down the numbers. My head was empty and I didn't know what to write. So I wrote down my date of birth and pass and my high school score. I picked and chose. And finally selected a multi-number lottery combination. Additional bet. 6 plus 6. A total of 10 bets. $30. I watched the boss wife issue the tickets. And I took the tickets and stuffed them into my wallet. Almost out of the door. Somehow, my right angle told me to let me want another one. Turn around. And turn out the ticket just now. Also directly clip out a stack of money of any denomination. Together on the glass countertop and pushed it over. One more. I looked at the money stacked high. And as I pushed it over, it went into a crooked pile. Are you sure? I think it's a few $100s. Is this really yours? It's my holiday cash gifts. It's my birthday. So buy it. The boss wife took the money and counted it. $666. $666. Good luck. Take the ticket. I took the ticket back and realized that there were 3 extra tickets. Madam, there are 3 more. Buy $268 or more at one time and you get one free. Another one for your birthday. All machine selected. I thanked him and put my wallet away. I walked to the bookstore and bought 2 lollipops and a bottle of guava juice from the kiosk below the bookstore. My wallet was flattened and I had less than $600 left. After another 5 days. My dad still hadn't called me for money. And he didn't ask about the college entrance exams again. My mom and my sister have been discussing senior year and classes at home. My brother came home occasionally. He was now interning at the hospital. As for me, they didn't say anything. Passing by that lottery store, the boss wife wasn't there. Only a middle-aged man sitting in front of the ticket dispenser. I didn't recognize him, and rushed to cash the ticket. Under the plaque of the store, there was a red strip that said the store had won a big prize in XX period. I flipped out the tickets and thought about it. So I took the ones I got as a gift and cashed them in. The gifted tickets won a 4 plus 2 for $3,000 and a 3 plus 1 for $15. Taking the money the owner redeemed for me, I thought to myself as I walked to the bookstore. Those under $10,000 can be redeemed directly at the lottery store, while the grand prize has to be redeemed at the provincial office. At midnight the day before yesterday I checked the winning numbers on the computer. I won the first prize. 20 times. I won the first prize. 20 times. The total win was more than $368,500,000. I was so happy with my ticket that I spent the rest of the night excited. I won $16. 944. $3.99 on a 10-bet $30 ticket. $16. 944. $3.99 on a 5 plus 2. 1 bet first prize. $601. $7.16 on a 5 plus 1. 4 bet second prize. $3. 000 on a 4 plus 2. 1 bet fourth prize. And $1. 200 on a 4 plus 1. 4 bet fifth prize. The other was a 22 times ticket for $660. I can't tell my family. On the contrary, I have to hide it. I can't be a passive person anymore. I have to be active. I have to be an active person. I am half happy and half sad. Joy is that I finally have tuition. Sorrow is that I don't have a letter of acceptance from the university. Worry. I found out that I can study full-time adult education program. Tuition is expensive but not a problem. The problem is what reason I find to leave the city and go to the province. In the evening, my brother came home for dinner and he kept talking about what he saw at the hospital throughout the dinner table. I am no longer interested in what he says about his work. I used to love to hear him talk about doing surgeries, frogs opening their bellies, pigskin sewing, on things that I've never been exposed to. I feel curious about something because at least it's more real than anything I've seen on TV. Hey, don't talk about that hospital stuff when you're eating. Gross. Don't talk about it when you get home. My sister voiced out to stop it. My brother said with an air of disbelief while eating his meal. You can say whatever you want. But not about your internship. Do you still want to eat? My sister was annoyed at his disgusting comment. Suddenly, my mom asked me, what are you going to do after you finish the college entrance exams and don't get into college? I was in the midst of a double-minded eating and thinking about how to get out of there. When I heard my mom's words, my heart thumped. What did she mean? I gave my mom a quick glance and lowered my head again, my mouth making an effort to chew my food and swallow. And there was a moment of silence pretending I didn't understand before I spoke. What's the plan? I put the bowl down, paused, and then reached for my chopsticks to take a piece of steamed tilapia backbone and put it in my mouth. Tilapia really has fewer spines than grass carp or carp. The fish meat is so smooth and tasty with a little soy sauce. I can eat several bowls of rice with one fish. But unfortunately I can't eat the whole fish alone. I finished my bowl of rice in a few bites. Since I can't get into college and I'm 18 years old, I'll go out and do some work. Your cousin is working as a team leader in a garment factory. And your aunt is working as a contractor in an underwear factory. So look where you're choosing to go. And I'll say hello to them. Listening to my mom's words, I kept my eyes on the expressions of my brother and sister who were sitting opposite me. They didn't look like they had anything to hide from me. But my mom was the one who was hiding the fact that she had changed my choice. I didn't want to play Tai Chi with my mom. So I just responded with an O. I didn't say anything else. My mom heard that I only responded with a O and said nothing else. When my mom heard that I only responded with an O and didn't say anything about going or not going, she got annoyed and scolded me again. She got annoyed and cursed again, saying, Auntie Lay's son next door graduated from university and became a civil servant. And her daughter graduated from university and worked in a communications company. But you didn't even get into a university. What do you need to do? A waste of time. It's better to give birth to a barbecued pork than to give birth to you. I looked at my mom's performance with surprise. How could there be such a shameless person? If it wasn't for her secretly changing my application, I wouldn't have been able to go to college. I wouldn't have gotten into college. I scored 5 points more than a second-year college. How dare she so righteously call me a loser? She's a person who hasn't graduated from the second grade. So she has the nerve to say that I'm a loser. I had wanted to hold back. But after all, I won the jackpot. The happy mood. Let me cannot help but dislike back. I'm a waste then what are you? I at least got my high school diploma. You didn't even graduate from elementary school have the nerve to say me. If I'm a waste then you're a big waste. A piece of garbage. A slag among garbage. As soon as the words fell, my brother snapped down his chopsticks and glared hard at me. My sister looked unconcerned and continued to eat her meal. In my afterglow, my mom has turned into an aggrieved to cry. And from time to time, she touches the corner of her eyes with her hand. It was disgusting to see her squirming and squirming. I didn't graduate. But I'm also your mom. Is this how your school teaches you to respect your elders and love your children? Did you study in a dog's stomach? I get up early and work hard every day. Who am I doing it for? You want to fly now that you've got your wings hardened. I had a lump in my throat and bit my back teeth. You didn't graduate, who to blame? Is your mom didn't pay your tuition? Granny said paid 2 yuan tuition. Is you didn't go to the exam? Have to be in 10 vegetable patches don't go. Have you ever cooked me a breakfast? You get up at 6:00. The first time is to look at your vegetable patches. Not for us to cook breakfast. Right. Your son is your son. Your youngest daughter is your youngest daughter. The two of them took the breakfast money can buy their own food. I did not. I cook a leftover still have to be you say I ate your breakfast. You have to go hungry. Don't I eat it and I won't be hungry. Words catch up with me. I don't want to stop. What's your attitude? If I say one thing, you'll back it up 10 times. You're a brother. Look. I'm not raising a daughter. I'm raising an ancestor. 1 word from me. 10 from her. It's not easy for me to do this for the family. My brother didn't want to intervene. But when he heard my mom's words, he could only speak out. If you say one more word, I'll beat you up or not. Which one of you is she? How dare you talk back? Hearing my brother's words, I don't want to get into a conflict with him on the basis that he carried me when I was a child. I also had to swallow this breath myself. I snapped down my chopsticks. I'm full. I cooked dinner. It's you two's turn to wash the dishes and put away the counter. I wanted to lift my chair and move it away from the dining table and put it back against the wall. Unexpectedly, when I turned around, I accidentally knocked over the teapot on the coffee table behind me. It fell to the ground with a click, shattering a few pieces. And the tea in the kettle spilled all over the place. I heart cackle a bang bang bang. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. I quickly set up the chair and quickly left the dining room table, wanting to go back to the room. Unfortunately, my mom didn't let me go. I said, if I say a few words to you, you will drop something. Your temper is getting bigger and bigger. If you can't get into the university, it's your own business. You will drop and hit. You are spoiled. My brother has always been my mom's gun. Wherever she pointed, my brother would hit. At this moment, my brother thumped and rushed towards me. When I saw that, I raised my feet and ran, rushed out of the hall, and closed the wooden door with my backhand. He reacted with a great deal of strength in his wrist as well, twisting the handle open. He caught up with me as I was running toward the 3rd floor landing. And he backhanded me so hard that I couldn't stand up and rolled down the 12 flights of stairs until I stopped on the 2nd floor landing. I felt a burst of body left and right inside and back waist hot Jesus numb. Double kneecap stiff pain. But I still endured immediately climbed up. Back against the wall to lean. My eyes were hazy for a while. But I was still alert. Looking at my brother standing on the steps backlit. Did not say anything. I felt my brother pause. But not much. He rushed right down and I instinctively tried to duck. But the pain in both kneecaps was so intense I couldn't move. My mom and my sister followed me out at this time. And the two of them stood 2 meters away from me with their hands on their chests. My mom said, "Don't move your hands. You know you have strong hands. The palm of your hand is all meat. You have such a big temper. If you don't put it away, when you get married, your in-laws will beat you up. Brother and sister are like brothers and sisters. If they don't love each other, and you want to get help from your mother's family, it's hard." After hearing the first sentence, I thought this farce was going to stop. I didn't expect the next sentence to be the beginning. My brother was once again indiscriminate. His right hand grabbed the pill on top of my head and his left hand was blocked by my right hand with force. My left hand similarly grabbed his hand that grabbed my pills. Bang! 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 Bang 3 times against the wall behind me. But on the third time, I reacted and covered the iron nail at the back of my head with my left hand. My brother nailed it himself to hang the broom. The back of my head hit the wall. My eyes are hazy and more white. My cochlea is deaf and echoing. What they say I can no longer hear. I felt my brother pause at this point. As if by instinct, I pushed him away. In one breath, I ran back up to the 3rd floor, closed the iron door, unlocked it, closed the wooden door, rushed back to my room, closed the door, yanked the coffee cat off the bed, opened the closet, hid inside, and closed the door. I have been full of panic, fear, sweaty, long gone in front of the family, just a face of calm. At this moment, I cannot feel the body because of rolling down the stairs and the hot pain. Nor can I feel the double kneecap stiff pain. All I knew was that I had just had a brush with death. The only sound in my cochlea now was the rapid beating sound of thump. 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 Outside the iron door on the 3rd floor, my brother, with an angry face, kicked the door and screamed. Open the door. But I can't hear the outside world at this time. Inside the dark closet, I still have fear in my eyes. Holding the coffee cat, my mouth unconsciously chattering, "Sister. Sister." I fall into a burst of darkness with my eyes open. In the darkness, I desperately chased after the tiny bright light in front of me. It was like something behind me was driving me away. I don't wipe for a moment, and I fall down and try to crawl forward. A cool voice in my ear said, "Stop crawling. Look at me." I stiffened. My neck turned mechanically towards the source of the sound. By the time I woke up again, it was the middle of the night. At the moment I was still hidden in the closet. I opened the closet a crack. Tonight the night is very bright. Through the window, my room without lights can be seen. "Sister," I chattered. I remembered. I'm not the daughter of this family. Her daughter died long ago on the day of the full moon. High fever, burned to death. She died in a game between her mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. My mom is mad at her mother-in-law for making her go to vegetable patches when she was 7 months pregnant, causing her to give birth to her baby prematurely. My mom was even more angry that her daughter, who was born prematurely, was a weak baby who looked like she was going to die but couldn't breathe. So, after she was born, she didn't feed her baby milk, but her mother-in-law fed her congee to get through the day. After her daughter has been fever. That time is the new year, is even more winter. So that little fever temperature, no one rubbing awareness. Until my father came back from the city of sheep. Only to find her daughter high fever. Brought to the health center, has been burned to death. Stayed less than 10 minutes on the death. After that, my father picked up a baby girl who was also born prematurely on his way back to the village and replaced her. After that, my father took my mother and my brother to live in another city. and left the baby girl at my grandmother's house. My grandmother's village people were afraid that her granddaughter was born prematurely and could not be raised, and that it would be bad luck if she died. So somehow she was picked up by my grandmother. And the baby girl grew up to 2 years old peacefully under the care of my grandmother. But she still died. And on the day of her death, I wasn't far away from her. I was not far away from her the day she died. Later, she floated beside me and told me that her father was coming to pick her up today. And that she wanted a father and a home. A cozy, warm home like her aunt's. I asked her how she died. She said she heard someone calling her that day. She turned around and answered. And then that's what happened. The baby girl asked me to take her place. Because the baby girl could only follow me. And I was an orphan in the walled city. I grew up on 100 meals. I was the same size as the baby girl. And we were both born prematurely. Just like that. I changed into her clothes. Took the little bamboo umbrella like she did. And walked in the sunbathing field in front of her aunt's house. And then I saw the man. Baby girl, her dad. Her dad rode a big 28-inch Phoenix bicycle and picked me up without alerting any of my aunt and uncle's family. The people in this family are all very hypocritical. My dad has the original match, has 3 children. Is not enough. But also outside the package a provincial woman as a second wife. Always stay in Yangcheng to do things. Only every year the Dragon Boat Festival. May Day. 11. The winter solstice. New Year's Day only to come back to live for a few days. The original match family live into the outer room. My mom is very indifferent to me. Outsiders are very hospitable and enthusiastic. I do not know if she knows whether I am in the end her premature daughter. My brother was okay with me when I was a kid. And he carried me on his back when he played games. So that I had a trace of warmth in this strange home. My sister disliked me as a child for coming from the countryside and wouldn't let me sleep in her bed or her room. So we lived in separate rooms early on. I had no friends on weekdays except for staying and playing with baby girls. I didn't need friends either. I didn't think it was real. Kids could be friends for a candy and the next time they were nothing without it. However, in this family I always forgot the hurt because of a touch of warmth. During those years, I tried to fill the void by helping my family with more chores, cooking, etc. I was treated like a free babysitter. Instead of being rewarded for my efforts, I was taken for granted by others. So, as I got older and learned more in books, I slowly rebelled. As long as my brother and sister are not at home, my mother's favorite cold violence against me. Their 2 siblings at home favorite is to sow discord. Even in front of my father is also like this. Pillow talk influence. Year after year to blow. False all become true. At the age of 9, during the Qingming festival, I occasionally overheard my dad and grandpa say, in fact, I'm not his daughter. I realized that in order to stay in this family, I had hypnotized myself to forget that I was an orphan. Just the second youngest member of the family who was not favored. The baby girl who had been with me all along could not be commonly seen when I was 6 years old. And I could only see her occasionally when the low energy field was very low. Another 10 days have passed since I won the lottery. And there are still 3 days left until the start of the school day. I can't sit around like this any longer. And being unilaterally abused that day might be something I can turn up and fire up. But I can't pick the time when my brother is there. Or I'll be unilaterally abused again. Hey! This is the gap between the power of men and women. In the afternoon, I took advantage of the fact that my brother went to work. My mom went to the old house in the suburbs to collect rent. And my sister went to cram school. I then immediately called my dad. Asked him to call me tuition fees. Just to say that although I did not receive the university notice, but received vocational nursing school notice, It is not impossible to study. But my dad. Let me ask my mom. At this moment. Just now he has been making excuses not to call the money. I immediately put this period of time by the suppression of the release. Loud out. My mom ran to school to change my volunteer. So that I obviously reached the second score cannot read the university. And also said received vocational nursing school notice open to see. But also do not tell me. You just don't want me to continue to study. You just don't want to spend money on me. And your wife won over $600,000 in the lottery. Since you guys don't want me to study, and you want me to go out to work earlier, then I will go. Without waiting for the other side to speak, I hung up the phone in a huff and quickly wrote the note. I put it on the dining table in the lobby and pressed it against the teapot. I'll go out to work. 1,000. I ran away with 2 sets of clothes that I had packed long ago. My new second-generation ID card. My student ID card. And more than 300 yuan in cash. I was afraid of vomiting on the bus. So I chose to go to the train station. Use the student ID card to buy tickets. Tickets half price. Only $9 apiece. Destination Yangqing Provincial City. More than 2 hours on the train. Soon arrived. The first time I went out alone, I saw a lot of people put the backpack back in front. I also follow the bag back in front. I looked around. Looking at the people walking around me. Everyone is a mo look. I also had to put away a big township out of the provincial city look. Also tense face. Look ahead. Out of the train station. I looked at the big square. You come and go. People are swarming. A glimpse of the past is the head. There are so momentarily confused. Looking at the unfamiliar provinces and cities. Unfamiliar environment. The heart of the retreat. Trembling. Hand trembling. Legs soft. Body crooked a little. Suddenly. Someone in the back to support a little. Frightened me. Suddenly legs are not soft. Even jumped 3 or 4 steps away from behind. Turned to look behind. Oh. This person a little familiar face. But I didn't recognize him. I said thank you and ran away. I can't run away from him. But I've been caught up. Why are you running? I told him I've seen you before. I've seen you in high school. You're that girl Tina Tang. The one who used to hit me with a brick. Lucas Lin said. Pulling the strap of my bag with one hand to prevent me from running away again. He was blabbering on and on. Can you let go of me? It's weird that you're pulling me like this. And can you lower your voice when you talk? What's the difference between you and a trumpet? I tugged at his hand. Trying to get it out of my bag. I was afraid he'd break it. After all, I'd been using it for 5 years. In the end, he didn't let go and kept pulling my bag onto the bus. After getting on the bus, he walked behind me and kept pushing me forward. I couldn't stand him. So I had to let him. Waiting for the 2 of us to sit in the last row of the bus by the right window. He said slowly. You do not deny pull. You junior high school enrollment. We all saw you were 3 people blocked in the alley. We thought you were going to be beaten. Who knows that you take anywhere? Pick up a brick. But also threw a throw upside down. A who come forward on his brain. We are afraid that you brick to people's head down it. My mind did flash through that scene. The first day of new school. Home from school. I saw that the alley seems to have a money look. I thought of not moving over to pick up. Who knows, just pick up and turn around to see 3 people blocking the entrance to the alley looking at me. I was thinking that they would not want to rob it. Read the elementary school. Often hear the senior people say junior high school people will rob the money of the lower grades. I was afraid of being robbed. So I bent down and picked up the half a red brick to build up my courage. Us? Who else? And how did you end up at the train station? I noticed he said we and I immediately asked. Just. You'll see when we get there. It was a bit stuffy in the car. So I opened the window wider and blew on it. What school are you in now? I asked Lucas Lin in a bored voice. Jida University. Lucas Lin said as he fished out a lollipop from the side of my bag and opened it to eat it himself. But when he saw me staring at him, he handed it to me. So is Hwada University far from your school? I stared at him taking my lollipop, staring at him unwrapping it, staring at him handing it over. Heh. He wants to eat my lollipop without fear of me spitting all over him. You'll see when we get there. When we arrived at our destination, I wanted to say goodbye to Lucas Lin. But he said, the visitor is a guest. He has to do the host's favor and said he would treat me to dinner. I found it troublesome and still politely declined. Only saying next time. Let him not have to accompany me. Let's do our own thing. I turned to Hwada University admissions office to go. After detailed understanding, there is indeed a freshman can be enrolled in the full-time adult education program. The examination is the form of self-testing. Different specialties. Tuition is different. But I want to enroll in the art of the professional. Tuition is much more expensive than the other professions. Other majors 4 or 5,000. Art majors to 20,000 out of the head. The first thing you need to do is to get a good deal of money. In the school near the circle. In a very small front of the second-hand cell phone store. Spent 350 yuan to buy a flip phone, can call and receive text messages. I also bought a phone card with a 0% monthly fee, which is free but costs money to make calls. After that, I had a casual dinner of pork feet and rice. I took a taxi to the CCB to open a bank card of my own. The previous one was opened with my mom's information. And the phone number filled in was also the home and her cell phone number. It couldn't be used by myself to claim the prize. In the afternoon, I changed my clothes at the WC near the prize redemption center. And went to claim the prize at the time of the provincial office. Into the prize redemption office. Listen to the staff arrangements. In the 2 winning tickets on the back to leave their names. ID card number. And then take a picture of the bottom of the cell phone. And then follow the staff to handle the process of claiming the prize. The staff wanted to take pictures for the interview. So I agreed and chose the second brother mask. I also made a donation of $500,000. After the prize redemption center to handle the process of receiving the prize. I hold the voucher to go to the bank designated by them to receive the money. I was so excited to see such a large sum of money for the first time that my hands never stopped trembling. My heart kept thumping so fast that I was afraid it would jump out if I didn't purse my lips. Looking at the invoice after tax deduction, I calculated that I still had more than $290 million. I opened another passbook. Divided into two $50 million fixed for 5 years and two $50 million fixed for 3 years. The remaining 90 million or so is pending. I want to be a landlord. I want to collect rent every month like my mom did and not have to go out to work. So I'm going to buy houses to rent. I'm going to buy stores to rent. I'm going to have money to spend without having to work. I'm going to buy so many things. The first thing I did was go pay my tuition. And I took another cab back before the admissions office got off work. The next day, I went to look at houses, stores and offices. For some reason, I always have a kind of inexplicable right angle when I look at houses. And I have to buy what I see. Otherwise I will miss it. I focus on the school district near the place to see. Convenient in these years here to study. You can often go to collect rent. During this time I went to a computer city. Assembled a thick laptop and bought a digital board. Then an agent told me that there was a new property on the market. A small apartment building. Right near the school. 1 stop away by public transportation. That afternoon, I decided to place an order for that small apartment building. divided into A, B and A, B. And I bought all the rough apartments in A. I spent more than $7,000 in one go. And I bought a laptop and a digital pad. I spent more than $70 million in one go. I also found a renovation company, revised the details of the renovation, and asked them to expedite the installation of plumbing, electrical and toilet facilities in one of the top floors. On the third day, I spent more than $10 million to buy 5 rough street stores and 5 300-square-foot rough apartments. In the evening, I sat on a camp bed in a rough apartment on the top floor of Building A, lying on a small table with a small notebook to carefully record the expenses of the houses and stores I bought, as well as the renovation expenses. On the fourth day, I went to CU Fabrics and bought several fabrics to put back in the top floor rough apartment. I found a dressmaker's aunt near the apartment and gave her a few magazines and fabrics, circling the long skirts and pants I wanted to make. That night, I took the initiative to ask Lucas Lynn out to dinner to thank him for his help at the train station that day. On the fifth day, I reported to school wearing a t-shirt, Oxfords and canvas shoes, a backpack, a small suitcase with a code, a mat, a bucket and a plastic tray. It was a great feeling to be rich, spending money like water. More than $80 million in just a few days. One swipe. It's paid for. Another swipe. It's paid for. And you don't have to worry about not having enough money. I'm floating. It's a great feeling. I didn't tell my family about winning the lottery. Nor did I tell them about buying the house. I didn't tell anyone. A secret is a secret. My mom reminded me with tinnitus since I was a child that nothing in the family is for me. And that if I give it to them, it's a favor. But if I don't, it's a favor. She also told me not to blame the family for favoritism. That it was all reserved for the eldest son. My daughter married into another family. A family outcast. I was still young. But I understood. So I asked, is it the same for my sister? My mom's face sank. And she said, my sister is my sister. And you are you. When you grow up, whether you buy your own house or earn money, it's all your own. So don't think about what's in the house. My mom seemed to be afraid that I wouldn't understand. Or that I would listen in one ear and out the other. And every time she caught me alone, she would pull me in and say, don't think about things that don't belong to me. Don't think about things that don't belong to me. Whether I'm rich or begging. Don't think about the family. See how obedient I am now. Don't think of anything. Just be happy. You'll get what you deserve if you change the way people live. End of story.